Beep, 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 beep. Hello and welcome to the court of the Edijester. I hope you're all well. But please do like, subscribe, turn on notifications, do the usual, buy me a coffee if you can to help out. But join as a Jesterite. Get some interesting stuff, I hope then. Come on, warrior teacher. Come on. Come on. We need you. This country is not over yet, folks, by a long shot. So come and join us. You know, real stuff going on. Teaching at the moment. I love it. My teaching week. It's my favourite week because I get to see all the peeps from all over the world, which is a gift, right? So I've got for you today, James Esses is once again out of the paddock and racing towards the home stretch with a great article and expose of a trans activist social worker in a training course. Postcards. There's a lot of silence from the social work hierarchy. They haven't had much to say, have they? Don't you think? Or have I missed it? Let me know in the dubris, which, of course, everything is in, as usual, right? So, it was time to go undercover once again, says James. I feel like there should be some music to this, you know? Dun, 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 dun. This time, I felt compelled to attend a training webinar for social workers on how to deal with trans people with autism or a learning disability. Given the long-standing concerns about the way in which social work bodies have swallowed gender ideology and the fact that those with autism are particularly vulnerable, it felt important to witness firsthand exactly what social workers were being told behind closed doors. And believe me, folks, it's a horror story. The training itself was run by a group called Supported Loving, an organisation set up in 2016 to support the rights of people with learning disabilities and autistic people and working to identify the barriers they have in having intimate relationships. The organisation is even recommended and publicised by the National Autistic Society. From this blurb alone, it is clear that this group works in highly sensitive areas with highly vulnerable people. Of course, their safeguarding would be rock solid. If only. Before attending the webinar, I thought I would take a look at Support Loving's website. Immediately, I was hit with concerning material. There was a link to Pleasure Garden, a self-styled inclusive sex shop, which includes products such as the NYTC Trans Mask Pump for pleasure and bottom growth. What? This was only the beginning. In a cartoon video, vulnerable users are told that sex can be linked to the private parts you're born with, but it doesn't have to be. A case study of one of their users reads, I have started making plans to go out with my support worker to buy female clothes, shoes, boots, bags, makeup, and plenty more female stuff. This is the type of regressive ideology being pushed on vulnerable people, reducing what it means to be a woman to handbags and makeup. Given the fact that those with autism can often take things literally, this is concerning. I'd say it was more than concerning. James, as usual, being a little bit cautious. Me, where's the police? This is actual harm being caused online. Wait a minute, isn't there a law that can deal with that? Where's the police? Pushing people towards trans is actual harm, by the way. Let's not mess about anymore. Anybody pushing people towards gender identity, ideology and trans is causing actual harm. And the definition of vulnerable in this country is fairly straightforward under the law. The definition of a child even more so, under 18. James, you know, this to me is a matter for the police. And the police should be involved. Because there is a definite attempt here to push people towards self-harm. If I'm wrong, you can tell me in the dubris, right? As per usual. Go on, have at me. Supported Loving even offer an easy-read guide for being transgender. This guide can only be described as ideological indoctrination. Vulnerable readers are told that if you know you are transgender when there is a difference between your physical sex and inner sense of being, this is disassociation. Can you imagine practicing disassociation with people with learning difficulties? They're pushing disassociation, mind-body disassociation. That's what they're doing. Swine. The guide moves quickly onto pronouns and medical transition, telling readers that they can take drugs to help their bodies to be more like the gender they are. This is pushing harm. Where are the police? This is what the Online Safety Act was made for. Readers are even told that the accepted view is that if you are presenting as a gender, you use those toilets. This is essentially giving carte blanche to individuals who use whatever toilets they like, regardless of the impact on others. The guide finishes with unevidenced scaremongering, with readers being warned that often families can be controlling and that there is a high suicide rate for people who are transgender. This is actual pushing of people towards serious harm. The Online Safety Act 2023 prohibits this. Where are the police? At the end, vulnerable readers are, here we go. At the end, vulnerable readers are directed towards mermaids and Stonewall, particularly concerning in light of the safeguarding concerns regarding both charities. Where are the police? Eventually, it was time to attend the webinar. Remember, this was being held for social workers who deal with a vulnerable client group. The host of the webinar was Lorne Power, brackets, they, them, brackets, a non-binary social work researcher. That's kick him out. At the University of Sussex, a member of the Trans Social Practitioner Network. What does that even mean? We were told that this training would be about trans affirmative practice and that it would be based on my lived experience as a trans person. So it's not training, it's storytelling. Which is fine, but not in this setting. To learn that the training was based around Powers' lived experience raised an immediate red flag. From the very outset, it became clear that dialogue and challenge was not acceptable, with attendees warned that there were to be no transphobic questions and that only good intent questions were permitted in order to create a safe environment. The suggestion that someone in attendance who might believe in biological reality presents a threat to the safety of attendees is truly worrying. This is wholly ideological capture, folks. Social Work England needs to be out of the gate on this. Call the damn police. Social workers in attendance were told a number of falsehoods. Firstly, that they were all assigned a gender at birth, and that if you're born a woman and identify as a woman, you're a cis woman. So they're using slurs. Gender is not assigned, it is observed and recorded. Well, sex is observed and recorded. Gender is immaterial. There are plenty of women out there who will tell you very clearly that they reject the term cis. Secondly, we were told that gender dysphoria is not a mental illness. Right, so what is it then? Come on. In fact, gender dysphoria is listed under the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders, and in the UK, you must be diagnosed with it in order to transition legally or medically. So it is. Right, now, I'm going to leave you to go and read the rest of James's great article, because, oh, believe me, it gets worse, as you can imagine. And we know that people have been taking the hit by going to these ridiculous things for a long time. James has been doing it. Sarah does it. The lies they tell on the Twitters. Hello, Sarah. Tenets about feminism. I still haven't had that argument with her, and I'm waiting to do it. Right, so go on, go and read it. They wrote it, you can read it. But this is absolutely what we're seeing now. We need to root this out, right, wherever you find it. I've done my examination of Manchester Pride and Manchester Council. I'm interested to see what that's going to cause in terms of furore. If you haven't seen the video, please do. It's interesting. And if you haven't seen the report, the link's in the Dubris, so you can get it. All right? We need to root it out, and we need to say exactly what it is, and we need to say it with voices Sendorian. These people are wicked. Wicked people pushing an ideology of mental illness and insanity upon vulnerable people, upon people with autism. This is absolutely beyond the pale. Join me in being outraged by it, because we are now in a post-caste world, and this has to stop. It's time the police began using their Online Safety Act, not 2023, which, by the way, is a damn dog's dinner. But if it's there, what the hell? I'll see you later, all right? Have a great day. Bye-bye.